One of the biggest mistakes CEOs make is taking on any client who will pay them. I've been there. This is a short-sighted approach, and there's a way to finding plenty of clients who won't make your life harder. Asking the right questions is crucial to make sure you don't end up over-promising and under-delivering or locked into a partnership that drains your energy. Today, I'll give you the top 5 questions to ask a potential client to ensure it's the best fit for you and your business. If you haven't yet, grab a pen and paper because you're going to want to take some notes. The first question to ask, and again, I'll help you depending on what industry you're in, but the first question to ask is, what are your top 3 goals this year? This seems like kind of an obvious question. People might even feel like it feels a little salesy, but here's the thing you have to remember. We love talking about ourselves. Your clients love talking about themselves. We just do. We love talking about ourselves. You want them to talk about themselves. Selling is not telling. Selling is listening. And I always say, if I sit down with a prospective client, I could literally ask them 2 open-ended questions. And by the end of that conversation, they would have a good idea of whether or not we're a good fit. That seems backwards, I know, because often we think as salespeople, we have to be telling and saying and talking the whole time. No, top salespeople know how to listen, and you can master this skill too. So again, you're going to ask open-ended questions. The first one being, what are your top 3 goals this year? Now, it could be, what are the top 3 goals in your business if your client is business focused, right? If what you sell is business focused. If you're selling weight loss, you might say, what are your top 3 health goals this year? You can massage that question depending on what it is that you're selling. This first question is all about what they want to create next, right? These are goal-based questions. This is what they desire. The second question you're going to ask, again, it's open-ended, is focused on their pain points. So you could simply say, what are your top 3 struggles in your business right now? Or what are the top 3 struggles with your weight right now or with your health? Because that's going to open up where they're stuck. And so what you're doing is you're building a bridge. You're asking where they want to go with the goal-related questions, what they're struggling with right now. And just with those 2 questions, by the time they've answered them, you as the sales professional are going to have a great idea of whether or not you can help them walk across the bridge. Can you get them from the struggle to the goal? And if the answer is yes, then that's a great indication that you can help them. If the answer is no, that's okay. That's a great indication that you probably need to refer them to someone else. So again, just to recap those 2 questions, 2 of the most powerful questions you could ask. First, what are your top 3 goals in whatever area? Second, what are your top 3 struggles in that area? The reason I like 3s, people are probably like, why 3? I'm glad you asked. The reason I ask for 3 is because it opens up what they're willing to share. It opens it up. If you just ask what's your top struggle, you're going to miss some other information. And often it's probably like our struggles, our goals really aren't just top of mind. So when we ask for 3, that gives them an opportunity to share more. Now, once you've asked those 2 questions, you've got a really good idea already of whether or not you can help them. I'm going to move from point E to point B. Can I get them there? Yes or no? If yes, then let's dig in a little bit more. Then I'm going to move forward. I'm going to ask some more questions. So the 3rd question you could ask, again, it's open-ended, is if you could have it any way in your business, what would you change immediately? And the reason I like this question, especially after the other 2, is because this is getting at the core of really, really what they want. They've shared their top 3 goals, but what do they absolutely want next? And this is a question that I love asking our prospective clients as well, because it gives me a lot of information about what they want to create. I remember when I met one of our clients for the first time, we were at a live event. I had been speaking for about an hour. I was sharing ideas on how to grow their businesses. And she came up to me afterwards and she looked me in the eye and she said, I want to have a 7-figure business. And I remember in that moment thinking, I hear that a lot. And yet there was something about the way she said it that made me really believe her. And I asked her, I said, where are you right now in terms of your monthly revenue? And she said, I'm at $1,000. Well, that's a pretty big delta, right? Like she's at 1,000, she wants to be at $83,333 a month. But inside of that, just this, I could feel this burning desire that she was going to be willing to do whatever it might take to get there. And I asked her a version of this question, like if you could have it any way in your business, what would you change immediately? And that's when she told me, she said, I would change my pricing. She said, I would change my pricing immediately. I'm just too afraid to do that. So we talked a little bit more, but I could see very quickly, right? I could see where she was, where she wanted to go, and how willing she was to change, which told me that it would be really easy to coach her. A few weeks later, she became a coaching client, and we've worked together for the last 10 years in different ways as she's grown her business from $1,000 a month to $3 million a year. So that's how powerful these questions are, and they help you reverse engineer whether or not you can help the client that's in front of you or the prospective client that's in front of you. And I've got other videos about sales calls on my channel if you want to learn more. Now, moving on to question number 4. So think about it. We've already established where they are, where they want to go, and how badly do they want it? Like, what would have to change for them to have it? This next question gives me a little bit more expansive information regarding where they see themselves. And the question goes like this: where do you want your sales or your business or your health to be 2 years from now? And then let them answer. And then ask that same question again, but ask them where they want it to be 5 years from now. By asking 2 years first, you can see, like, how far out can they see? How long have they been thinking about this? Can they see 2 years from now? Where do they want to be? The 5-year question usually stumps people a little bit. It's like, wow, 5 years from now, I have no idea, especially this day and age, right, where it feels like things move so fast. And that's okay, because often that's an area where you're going to be able to help guide them, is where they could get 2 years from now, or where they could be 5 years from now with their business or their health or whatever it is that you do. So again, this question is going to give me more information about where they really want to be in the future. In a minute, I'm going to share a story with you that's going to tie the importance of all these questions together, and I'll show you a real-world example of how it turned out for one of our clients. But before I do that, I'm going to share a critical question that most people miss. And this question is, how would you know if my services, whatever they are, work for you? How would you know if my coaching services work for you? Or how would you know if my health services work for you? What changes would you see in your business or your life? So it's kind of a two-part question. But the first one, how would you know if my services are working for you? I love that open-ended question, because that tells me exactly what this prospective client is hoping will come from us working together. And that doesn't always come out, right? Like, when you're working with a new prospective client, they have an idea of what they want to create or what they want to receive or what they want to happen in their business or their personal life. But if you don't ask this question, you won't know. And then you could say, what changes would you see in your life or your business after we work together? And again, you're getting at exactly what they want to create. Because when you move into closing the sale or moving them forward with you, you can simply say something like, based on what you shared with me, you said that, at the end of our time working together, you want your business to be at 7 figures and you only want to be working 25 hours a week. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. So if we could achieve that in 1 year, what would that be worth to you? And that's that's a closing statement heading into another question to see how important it is to them. And by that point, once you've asked all these questions, it's almost inevitable that the sale is already closed. Which ties into the story I wanted to share with you. We have a partnership, clients who are partners, and they're just this wonderful, they own a wonderful company, they sell a product, and I remember when they came to us, they said, listen, we want to get better at sales. And yes, we're growing our 7-figure business, but within that, we want to be sales professionals. We want it to be so easy to close sales. And we also want to be cold calling. Now, most of our clients don't cold call, so they were making both cold calls and warm calls. And we took the questions above and we turned them into email reach outs. And not every email had all the questions, but they would often have one of the questions that we listed above. And they started sending these emails consistently. And then once they got an appointment, they started asking these open-ended questions. And because they were willing to do that, they started to close a lot more sales, so much so that they were tracking for their 7-figure business. But that's not even the best part. The best part was one day they sent an email and they got a response. And this was a cold email, okay? It was a cold email. They got a response from a prospective client that said, "This is the best email I've ever received. Thank you for doing your research about who our company is and why it matters, and for the questions that you asked. Yes, we want to meet with you." Because they were willing to do the work. And you're willing to do the work too. So hopefully you've taken a lot of notes and you can begin to ask your clients these questions. And remember, your 2X is waiting for you too.